Oh yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, it's daylight savings time. That's what's got me thrown off. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to For the Minions. I'm your host, the man who's this. What we're doing, what we do every week, is we talk about the Paragon remakes and Ethereal. And this week we have Armadyllan, our good friend Armadyllan, with us to talk about Ethereal specifically. But we're going to talk about Ethereal, and then we're going to talk a whole lot about Overprime because they released a whole bunch of information this week. Unfortunately, we got nothing for Pred this week. There was nothing. I didn't even see a tweet come out of them. I guess they're just kind of laying low until the Overprime storm blows over. So I do apologize if you came here for Pred info. I got nothing for you. So I don't want to bait you in and make you think and make you wait till the very end for Pred news when there ain't gonna be none. Again.
Yeah, it feels like they're just like waiting it out. They're just like, all right, well, let's see how their test goes and then announce our test. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Joining me, as always, is my friend and co-host Jelly Knees. How you doing, Jelly?
I am fantastic, Mangoose. Happy to be here. Happy to talk about all these things, all the craziness, and yeah, just excited as always. And with us,
Oh, you sound so excited.
I know.
I was all day or all night last night, so super great. But we've got Viking with us as well. How are you doing, Viking?
I'm doing really good. I'm stoked. Mangus has been streaming all this Overprime content, like all week. He's turned himself into like a full-time, live streamer. It's kind of wild, the guy who had never wanted to press the live button, and now he's like full-on streaming, doing community feedback streams.
Every time I open up YouTube at night, it's like Mangoose is live, and I'm like, what?
Pop it up.
What the hell is going on?
Like there was actually one time where I literally clicked the live button and I guess you had just ended stream. So like I clicked it and it loaded black screen. I was like, that sounds more like Mangoose.
Yeah. So
this fucking guy.
Though I'm stoked to be here and get to join in on the conversation that Mangoose has been having all week. So let's do it.
And joining us. Okay, whoa, what do you got, Jelly?
Real quick, I just want to address Dez's comment because I had that exact same thought. But I didn't say anything because I was like, no, I'm not going to be that guy. But Dez's comment is Pred's going to announce that they got more money.
Oh my God, please stop.
We're not here to bash the games. We're here to report the news.
Hey, it's not a bash.
All right. And joining us this week, we have...
What do you mean?
We have Armadyllan. How you doing, Arma?
Pretty good.
UG Armadyllan now.
Yeah, UG Armadyllan now, yeah.
Let's do it.
Moved over.
How's that transition
been? The dark side, and I was gonna be like, whoa.
It's been all right. It's been fun.
But
we'll find out.
Oh, okay. I'll ask questions later.
Yeah. We'll find out, Jedi. So we're going to start off with Ethereal, and then we'll get into Overprime. But before we get into Ethereal, I do want to play this. I don't remember where I put it, but so we'll probably go through a few scenes before I find it.
Uh-oh.
But it's the GTG intro. Nope, not there. Not there. There we are.
This thing's cool.
I should have named that shit. I completely forgot to. It's under scene 2. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did a great job on this trailer. And they really? They heard me burp just now?
Sound on the video, man.
There was no sound on the video? Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, we're back.
Scuffed.
Yeah, you'd think I'd be good at this by now, but nope, I'm not.
Mangoose the streamer, everyone. Mangoose the streamer.
I think I might have actually turned the sound off. Oh well, that's fine. You can get through gaming and watch the trailer if you want to, but if you don't know, Jelly and I will be casting a tournament, Overprime tournament on November 19th and the 20th. It'll be the EU on the 19th and NA on the 20th. I believe they have signups open right now. I believe they opened up yesterday. So if you got a team, you want to sign up for that tournament, go ahead and do that. But let's move on now to Ethereal.
Let's do it.
All right, we're in Ethereal. So
you gotta do one.
You got to do a weird name for Ethereal.
It's tradition.
No.
Oh, wow.
Oh man,
Wow.
the hard no. Shut down.
We respect no's around here, though.
Well, we said. I see. The thing is, we always say ethanol, right? And like internally, so
Yeah,
like
ethanol's a good
y'all
one.
beat me already, so whatever.
Say it anyway. Ethereal.
Oh, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Loax and I are going to fight in real life. So for Ethereal, they changed their lane icons, which should help people better identify what lane they're supposed to go to. So you've got your support and your ADC lane look like flames, so you know to go to the fire lane. So they have a fire lane, a distinct fire lane, and a distinct ice lane. So now you have a better idea of where you're supposed to go. And like I was saying, Ethereal needs to clear a lot of this stuff up because it is 3D chess in the world of MOBAs. Whenever you get to Ethereal, so people need to as much onboarding as possible. So, Jelly, you want to talk about these icons?
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head already. Is the main point of this is to kind of bridge that gap between what we know for MOBA laning terms, right, being like mid lane, off lane, duo lane, jungle, and all that, with the theming that Ethereal has going on with the fire, ice, and void lane. So that you've got the name might be that you're the carry and you've got a fire looking icon. So you're going to the fire lane. You are the off laner with an ice looking icon. So you're going to the ice lane, right? Like I said, something to just kind of bridge that gap and create an easier identifiable
there you go.
process for players to learn where they're supposed to go with what lane and what role.
I can't wait for people to still fuck it up and go to the wrong one anyway.
Inevitably. Don't get me wrong. It's going to happen regardless. This is just a step in that direction to help at least more people understand where they're supposed to go.
Yeah.
Because that was something we heard in our previous tests, is right. We had those icons before, but it was just ice lane. How am I supposed to know if ice lane is the duo lane or the off lane or the mid lane or whatever, right? Like, and so it's trying to get them at least a little bit closer to understanding where they're supposed to go.
I should probably say real quick too, because I've gotten a lot of new subscribers, and I'm sure some of them are watching right now. Ethereal is not a Paragon remake. They're making their own third-person MOBA. They just happen to start at around the same time that Paragon died. They have all of their own assets. They have their own map. The map is separated into 3 different portions. It's fucking crazy. Look it up. It's going to be
a lot.
It's going to be a fun fucking game, but there's a lot to learn about it. And they just picked up Armadyllan. So Arma, how has your experience been with the Undying team?
Pretty good. Organization is like super good, so that's super helpful, at least internally. A big thing is I hadn't played any other tests, right? So I didn't come in with any like preconceived notions of how hero kits were going to work or stuff. So it kind of let me come in with like a new eyes experience and kind of give feedback that way, which I think is super useful.
Well, who's your favorite hero and why is it Leah?
Leah, actually. I think like my favorite hero is probably Malware, just from like a design perspective. But I think like my most fun to play, like kit wise, like if would be Talos, but unfortunately I have issues with some Talos things. I can't talk about that, but there are some things I'm like, man, maybe we should not do that. But yeah, like if you like on paper reading the kit, I'm like, yo, Talos sounds sick. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. And I think that's the crazy thing is a lot of the kits on paper, right? When people look at them or hear about them, they're kind of like, what? Like, why can you do that? Why is that a thing you can do? Grabbing people and throwing them, for instance, right? With Iran, right? That's one of those abilities. And it's from everything I've seen. So Arma's gone through like one by one and has been playing these characters and like giving detailed, like character limit maxed Discord messages
at least
about about what he likes, what he doesn't like, what he would change, how he would change it, and even if it's not those specific changes, just like ideas of directions to move in. And it's been super cool to see.
That's the biggest thing for me is like I don't want anyone ever, like, especially on the team, I don't want anyone to think like I know better than you. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just like here, like I think like me as a player, this feels lackluster for these reasons, but I'm also never the kind of person to bring up a problem and try not to like offer a solution in some way. So that's how I kind of approach it. I'm like, hey, like this guy's grab feels a little wonky and not really clear to the player of what's going on. So maybe we should change it to this and it might actually work better. And then hopefully from there, minds just explore whether or not my changes will get implemented or not. But if a change is implemented, then that's better than nothing, right? So
yeah. And I mean, so Arma, do you want to talk about, I know we talked about bringing your Dante example up, because Dante's kind of a easy universal character that everyone is fairly straightforward. You can talk about the things you made with him.
Dante's your base ADC, right? So he's your big shoot 'em up, slightly elusive kind of character. The big thing about him for me was like the speed of which certain animations happen, right? So let's say his Q, which is a slightly longer shot that goes through minions and pierces, like it activates a little slow, right? And that can feel sluggish and feel bad as the Dante player because you're like, I just want to press this button. But at the same time, it lasts a little too long also. So like you just like, I want to go back into shooting, but I'm stuck in this animation, right? So like that's a good example of something like that. A large one for me was his roll. His roll gets reduced CD for every basic attack you hit on an enemy. So you can kind of keep your roll up as long as you're throwing shots and hitting them, which like feels good, right? Because like I just, even as like a Twin Blast player, I want to be dashing around and stuff. And then I'm looking at him and I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to just be rolling out of these skills. I want to be dodging people's attacks, and I want to try to keep that up as much as I can. And then his R&B is like, it's kind of like old Twin Blast Rapid Fire, where he would just shoot a whole bunch. Reduced damage, but he would shoot a whole bunch. I think it's like 10 bullets, and then how fast it goes depends on attack speed. But the RMB effects are like free skills, right? So you get them at level 1, and then you also get to choose another skill. So when that means that what they wanted to do, the design they decided to do was with the RMBs to have some sort of negative to them, whether or not they cost mana or they might like leave you in a certain state afterwards if they're especially powerful. Dante's one was I call it overheat because his guns explode and he shakes his hands off, right? So to me, that's just an overheat state. That's what I'm going to call it. And the problem for me is that R&B brings his roll off cooldown, right? But during overheat state, you can't use any other abilities, so you can't roll. So like, why does it bring the roll off cooldown if I can't roll? It's like I should just roll. Let me roll. Like I don't care if I can't Q or E or anything, but let me just get out of there. But like there's stuff like that, and a lot of what I'm doing, because like this, like I said, this is like a new player experience, right? I'm looking at it, and I'm not going super in depth. Like I'm not going like this, like going SFX, VFX, every single little thing about the hero. I'm more going gameplay feel wise. These changes, and then after changes have been implemented, can go back and do more feedback based on the more nitty gritty things, right? The little nuances. The main thing for all this, because I think I have 3 heroes left. I have the 2 assassins and Marina left that I got to make feedback for, and like once I'm done with that, then I'm just gonna move on to like major systems and stuff like that, like how I feel about minions or whatever. And hopefully, they've been really good. Like Skifter, which is one of the guys who does coding and stuff in GA, he's really good, like quick about doing changes that he can do that I think that would be better. Like he went in and changed like minion size, for example, because I wanted to see how bigger minions would affect the map, and he was just like, boop, done. So it's really interesting.
And I think the big thing that I've seen with a lot of your feedback reports on these myths, Arma, is something that we talked about a lot on this show, of are buttons good to press? Like kind of that, if I press this thing, does it feel good? Do I feel rewarded for doing so? And I think that's super, super important for all of these games, not even just Ethereal, is finding ways to make button presses feel good, make it feel rewarding to press a button.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like there's a part in like the Moba where you want to go, there needs to be strategy involved in like aiming this ability, and you don't want to just things to be happen super fast necessarily, because you want to be able to have people to react, but also if things happen super slow, your buttons just feel bad, right? And that's the main issue there, is like you really have to find that balance. And I personally like slightly faster gameplay, so that's where I'm always going to lean on my feedback, because not only is it that I like it, but I also feel like it is a more engaging way to keep players occupied. Is like I have to be kind of paying attention to a lot of these little things, because anything can happen in a certain amount of time. That was a big thing for me for Dante Grenade, and that feedback was I felt like the projectile on the grenade was a little too slow, so I couldn't really use it effectively in laning as like a poking tool. It was like everyone just walks out of the AoE, right? So it was like, if we speed that up a little bit, how does that feel? Does that feel better? So stuff like that. I think the most controversial feedback I've given is on Malware, which sucks. He's my favorite character. But yeah, it's been interesting to say the least. I feel bad because I feel like I'm making like these blown reports and just making people's jobs harder, but it is what it is.
I feel like that's probably this is the time to be able to make, right. You know, you want the jobs to be hard now, like you want before players really get a chance to, because if you have those feelings internally, right, and once it's in the masses, I mean, we all know how they respond to things that they don't like, right? So one question I have for you, because it's almost always the thing that people notice first about the game, is the map itself. What was your first like impression when you loaded in and you have like just this multi-tiered, like
the answer is overwhelmed, right? Now, and obviously there's like no tutorial and stuff. I just hopped in and was just like, all right, let me like take a gander, like what's going on. And I was like, oh, that's what's going on, everything all at once, all the time.
Everything everywhere all at once.
So because for me, like jungle, and I'm not, I want to say like I'm super experienced MOBA player, but I'm at least a more experienced MOBA player than I probably would think the average person is, right? And I'm like, I even said it in testing. I was like, listen, I'm gonna take a gander at jungle last because like I have no idea rotation timers. I don't know camp. Like I'm lost. You know what I mean? And then there's 3 lanes to it, and I'm like, oh god, where do I go? So like I have like original timers memorized as far as like the big things, like Atropos, like I know when he spawns, right? So like if we want to take it early Atropos, I kind of know where to be. But besides from that, I'm just like, I'm just gonna farm up, man. Like, don't invade me, please. Like, but yeah, it's overwhelming at first, especially because I think the size of the assets make your character feel smaller, which is only an issue because it adds to the overwhelming feeling, right? The assets being large is fine. It looks grand. It's great to like look at, but when you're in that perspective, you feel tiny, right? And that makes everything feel even larger than it even already is. So
I certainly agree that especially ranged heroes need to feel a little more snappy. Right now it feels like you could shoot and like somebody can look at your bullet, go this way, and then dodge this way and still get missed by it. Still get missed by it. And
Noxus was that for me. I was like, this needs to be set up.
Yeah, Noxus, Marina's like that a lot. You can't feel it as much with Dante and Malware, but you can still kind of feel it. But and especially like Dante's grenade feels like a fucking lawn dart with a parachute attached to the end of it. Like it's, but yeah, I think if all the ranged heroes were a lot more snappy, it would feel a lot better, because I think all the melee heroes feel absolutely great to play. I think Leah feels great because you could just just get in there and do everything you want. Talos feels great because you got all those resets on his abilities. You can just get in there and mix it up. It's the ranged heroes that I think are holding Ethereal back from being a complete game right now.
Yeah. I mean, so I would agree with you for the most part. However, I think personally, feedback wise, I think just BAT, so basic attack time, in case anybody wasn't aware what that meant. I personally just think across the board it should be increased slightly for every hero. And that's more of a nuanced thing. I noticed a little bit when I was playing Talos, was like early levels, my swing felt like I was in recovery animation a little bit too long, right? And that's not something that the average player is not going to be able to look at that and give you that feedback, but they're going to know something feels wrong, right? And that's the biggest thing is like I personally think that slightly increase across the board would be good. But again, I'm a favor of faster gameplay. So
Question in chat, Jelly, when's the next gameplay test going to be?
Yes. I do want to address SwiftX's message from earlier, though, about having 2 jungle icons. The reason for that is it is a 6v6 MOBA. So there is an extra player involved in all this, and there are typically 2 junglers throughout the game. So you will have one jungler. What we've seen so far is kind of a vertical slice of you split mid lane or split void lane in half, and then each jungler takes a half of the map. But that may change, right? That's going to be kind of up to the community at that point. But so we have seen that there are 2 junglers. That is why there are 2 jungle icons.
And it does benefit some like ice lane is where, if I'm on Leah, I go ice lane because ice lane is where blue buff is. Leah benefits more from mana than any of the other junglers. So like you got to take that into account too. So there is a difference. You don't just pick a jungle and go to it. Like I get pissed off when I see an Iran going to ice lane and I'm like, God damn it.
But yeah. So it's 2 junglers, which is like a big reason why I get like really confused, right? Because I'm so used to being like, this is my area. All of this in between, this is me, not you. Don't touch my stuff. No,
everything the light touches is yours.
Exactly. Yeah. So like it's really interesting because like I don't know when it's appropriate for me to go to like the other jungler section and do things there. So it's like it's definitely a lot of like overwhelming at first, which is like the reason why tutorials are important. But yeah, it's very interesting.
And another comment from SwiftX: does Ethereal have a tutorial or planning on having a tutorial once it's available? Absolutely, we're planning on having one. It's something that we're constantly talking about and working on and thinking of. Like whenever something happens or someone makes a comment, we're like, oh, that'd be a good thing to add to the tutorial, right? Like finding ways to make it as accessible as possible once that tutorial does release.
Yeah, SwiftX, that would be crazy if 2 junglers, Fumo, were to invade your jungle.
Huh.
That would be nuts if that happened. Fumo.
That would be so
Be
wild.
absolutely wild, Fumo. Yeah, I don't know.
Son of a
I feel like
bitch.
Mangoose is channeling some dark
Some rage. So, also for Ethereal, you guys added Balix to the team. So not only did you pick up Arma, you picked up Balix. You picked up my 2 favorites from SMS and added them to the UG family. You guys cherry picked hard there. Nicely done.
Absolutely. No, we've brought on Balix as part of the marketing team because he did really good work for Fault. Like there's no question about that. Like a lot of the stuff that he was working on and putting out for their content, incredible. So I'm really excited to have him as part of the marketing team, and we've got some plans already working on with him involved that I'm excited to get going and for you guys to benefit from going forward.
Right on. Funny guy, that Balix.
I did want to comment on the you're invaded by 2 junglers thing, right? That I understand that thought process, but they have to fucking find you, bro.
Oh, well, Fumo knew. Okay, Fumo knew who I was. Not only did he know who I was, he busted out the back wall of the fucking buff I was trying to take.
Like, oh, you want some? You
like, he
Kool-Aid
Man the shit out of me.
Yeah, he did. He said, "Hey, that's a nice buff you got there."
Yeah, and it's like, and I can't run to the edge to get away because then the motherfucker will grab me and throw me off the side of the goddamn map.
Exactly.
All right, that's enough of me venting about my experiences with Fumo.
He's everywhere in the jungle.
I know.
He doesn't leave the jungle until he's like level 19 with like 4 items, and he's just like, "Where everyone's at, I'm done."
Shit!
I've seen Fumo make of breaking walls to do other things is more than anybody else. I think. Like he just has that mind for which walls to break at which moments. And it's terrifying every single time.
Yeah, that's something that I'm also like because R on shift, right? He breaks these walls, and I'm like, I don't know when this man is coming, right? And I'm like, this jungle camp is near this broken wall. I'm kiting it this way. Like,
yeah,
please.
All right. I think that's about all I had for Ethereal. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we move on to all of this Overprime news?
I guess just one final question. Aesthetically, which was your favorite lane of the 3, and why was it Fire Lane?
Us with our leading questions.
Well, like I like Firelane because I like dragons and there's a lot of dragons in Firelane, right? But I think visually appealing and like color wise, I like Ice more.
That's the wrong answer, but that's okay.
Marina's abilities disappear on Ice Lane, so
I like Christos' comment.
Oh my gosh. Remind me not to tell Balix when the next test is.
Yes. Don't let Balix know nothing.
He's not even here to defend himself, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Shit.
At least
Oh, that's good.
Twitter, so he'll know.
That's good.
His sleep.
That's fucking funny. All right. Well, that's, I think, going to close it out for Ethereal for this week. It's going to be a great game. I can't wait to play it. I can't wait till Arma makes all these changes and I can see how they affected the game.
He had scores for Ethereal.
But for now,
Yes. Please.
we're going to move into the beast, Overprime. I got
Oh gosh.
So Overprime
Yeah,
this week.
Holy crap.
Xena's my new main.
Okay, yeah,
Rest in
that
peace, Kalari.
first of all, they accidentally leaked their new hero Xena.
Oh, so I thought the Balix was on UG, not on.
Oh no, apparently it's so here's what happened. What happened was, so this dude was going to play support. He didn't lock in time because he couldn't figure out who he wanted to play for support. So the game just auto assigned him Xena. Like she wasn't available to pick or
no.
anything.
Oh no.
And like, so they've been deleting, like people have been linking that stream in their Discord today. And like the mods have been deleting it as fast as people can put it in there. So they definitely did not mean to release the Xena footage. But
She stop us from talking about it, right?
oh hell no. I recorded that shit immediately.
Screen capture.
But okay, so let me just go over all the updates real quick. We got 2 more of the gameplay videos, the tournament support for community tournaments, a whole bunch of shorts. They released patch notes for the final beta test. They released all their items for the final beta test. Attaining a certain rank in the final beta test gets you a skin in early access. Korean Twitch streamers have been playing the game all day in anticipation of a LAN tournament that they're going to hold at G-Star. And then we got a community shout out to Jackpot. Jelly, what did Jackpot do?
He created an item builder in Unreal Engine.
So cool.
And it's very basic, but for what it does, like it's fantastic. And I think it's a great addition for the community to use going into the test this week.
I believe they have that linked in their Discord. Jackpot linked it in the strategy portion of their Discord. Check that out if you want to. All right. We don't really need to talk about the gameplay vids, I don't think. The tournament, we already talked about it. There's going to be a couple tournaments, I think.
Such a dick thing to say.
What? What's going on?
Philip said Arma Def not as hot as I hoped.
Oh,
Hey,
Arma.
it's okay. It's okay.
Oh, wow.
Damn. He's just got to take off his glasses and put his hair down like a 1990s romance comedy and he'll be beautiful.
Put my hair
go.
down.
Welcome to
cut my hair
FTM,
off.
Arma. Jesus.
It's okay. I accept it.
Just updated the item builder looking strategy. There we go. Right on.
Bam. There we go.
God damn. Brutal.
It's so mean.
But I'm laughing.
You just need more beard. That's all. Just more beard. It helps.
No, I don't. Listen, I had a long beard. There's clips of me with long beard. All right, it's okay.
I mean, you can tell from the GTG trailer that Jelly Knees is a much better content creator than me. If he was just a little more ruggedly handsome, he would be so much bigger than I am.
Love mangoes.
Okay, so let's talk about. We don't need to talk about the shorts. We don't need to talk about that. Let's talk about the patch notes. Let's go to the patch notes.
God, let's read the 900,000 characters.
You mean the Game of Thrones novel?
I'm not
Jesus
gonna go through these like this is
Whoa.
fucking the default
You're not
partner
gonna post
panel
the
and read
default
every
partner
single
panel?
one. Nope.
Thank
Hell
you.
no.
Oh, geez.
That's not what we do here. Okay, general rundown for changes to heroes that already exist is they removed healing, or they removed a little bit from a lot of the kits, but added trauma or whatever you want to call it, reduced healing organically to a lot of the kits. And they also took all of these long ass dashes and they shortened them up a little bit. So Sevarog had a dash that was extremely long. It's a little bit shorter now. Chimby's dash, a little bit shorter now. So just across the board, that's the changes they made. The big problem I have with this is they tell you what they changed everything to, They don't tell you what it changed from, so you have no fucking idea if it was a buff or a nerf or what fucking changed. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint about it too, is that none of it had any bearing because I didn't know where it was coming from.
Right.
You need the dash and the carrot, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now knows what that means. So
it's one of those things that I think the patch notes by themselves though are really good to see from everything they've changed over the last 8 months, 6 months, whatever it's been. So they're doing a great job with that. And then they also did their full item breakdown of all the tier 1, 2s, and 3s of their item system.
Right.
I think is also a very nice thing to have. So we can get things like an item builder, or so Mangoose can do item building streams, even if people are just going to meme the whole time.
Make troll builds the entire time.
I think
a big change though was the Kwong. Like, those are some changes right there. So Kwong, what do you guys want to talk about, Kwong? Do you have it pulled up?
I think Arma. I was gonna say I think Arma has pretty strong opinions about it. I think now that I've seen more of the items, I have like counters to the strength of him. But Kwong does look broken on paper, right?
And we did 140% physical power damage, and then true damage on top of that. Okay.
But you have to still land the abilities. You know,
his abilities.
It's not an ability. It's his basic fucking attack. It knocks you up in the air, and then you slam it down.
First of all, okay, so part of the thing that I take issue with is we were watching some of the best players play as Kwong and showcasing how good he can be, right? You put me on Kwong and I'm going to miss every single knockup. I'm going to miss it's just not going to happen. I'm not going to land all those attacks in a team fight like he was.
What Viking is saying is that he can't land basic attacks.
That's what I was saying.
I play ranged attacks are impossible. So it's easy. So
it's harder. It's harder to land ranged attacks.
No, it's harder to know when I've missed them. It's
here's the thing though. The streams today, those were like very good players, but it was a lot of them. It was their first time playing a third-person MOBA. It was definitely their first time playing Overprime. So these were very inexperienced people that we were watching play. They were they kept picking Aurora support for God knows why, and like
because
they were
she feels like she should be with all the CC.
Yeah, kind of, yeah, but she's not. If you played Paragon before, you would know that. But so these weren't the most experienced people playing the game. So I wouldn't base. Like I said in the last FTM, the best person that I faced in the last beta test was a Kwong player. That guy was nuts with Kwong. Like if it wasn't for the rest of his team, like I think if he would have been by himself, he would have done better. But the rest of his teams kind of sucked, so we kind of rolled over him. But that guy was fucking amazing. And if that guy was on this Kwong, Kwong players are going to be wrecking people.
Yeah,
in Overprime,
mechanically gifted players on Kwong are gonna just run lobbies. Like
that's what I was saying. Was like if you get good at the game and the game mechanics, I think you're right now on paper. It looks like it's just obnoxious, right?
Yeah,
I agree.
Now, obviously, in game it might be different, but I don't think so.
But I think that's the main thing. The floor for his ability to hard carry games is pretty high. And the ceiling for him is also really high, right? And I do think that there's value in having that. Maybe not in this current iteration with the few amount of champions we have access to, but I don't hate that there's a skill expression heavy champion in a MOBA, because I feel like that's how you're going to encourage people to show up for those highlight plays. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants to be the Yasuo that gets the full on crazy ult, right? Yeah. Not everybody can pull that off. In fact, most people cannot pull it off.
Yeah, Yasuo is the new player trap, right? Yeah.
Right. And but I think that's fair, right? There should be, I think, a good portion of that. Like, and it's annoying, right? But you can also respect the skill, right? You can go like, man, that Kwong was just doing all the right things all the time. It was fucking annoying. Fuck that guy. On to the next game, right? Or man, I really want to play that, and you play him, you're like, shit, how the fuck was he doing that? That's so hard to do. Same thing, and I think that there's value in that. You know what I mean? It's not like where you just fly in like with Gideon, press E and then press R, and you're like hard carrying a team fight. It's way more in depth than that, and I think that's kind of cool.
I think the funniest thing for me was the description of Kwong's kit rework. Hey,
You mean
it's
the
been reworked.
paragraph of it, like all every ability?
No, I'm saying it's like Kwong's skills have been reworked. That's it.
Yeah, they don't explain why.
Full stop. It's like, hey, he's completely different.
Moniverse, Belka is in the game. I think that's the first time I've seen your name in the chat. Welcome on in. Philip Rose, I think, makes a very good point. Apparently, knockups do not prevent attacks either. It seems like you can even do like a Grux pull while you're knocked up. So a knockup isn't as bad as you may think.
It's not like a hard CC. Okay.
Yeah. It's soft CC, I think.
Interesting.
It's still wild.
Yeah,
Because it's the same as the movement stun. When you get stunned, you can technically still use your abilities and stuff like that while stunned from the run.
Just a quick rundown, because I don't think we've ran down his actual changes yet. The quick rundown, his basic attacks now, you get 2 swings that deal varying damage. The third swing knocks people up, and then the fourth swing deals extra damage and crashes back down. And it deals extra damage if you hit the person that you knocked up with that third swing. He also, his E is an invincible dash. His Q, he still throws the sword out in tethers, but now he can teleport to the sword without ulting. And his ult just empowers your basic attacks and lets you dash when you use your basic attacks.
Empowers my already empowered basic attacks.
Yeah, pretty much. We talked a little bit about Xena, Fox. Y'all want to get into Xena right now?
We'll talk more about it. First thing I want to touch on these patch notes real quick.
Okay.
Is the abilities of jungle camps. That the jungle camps all have different abilities.
Yeah.
Abilities, right?
Oh, yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Big fan. I'm really curious to see like what the interactions are. It looks like one of them teleports and does like a slash of damage. You've got the line of fire on the ground. You've got one that looks like it protects the other minions that are like behind it in the camp. I'm really excited for all of these. They look super cool.
Yeah, unique jungle stuff is always awesome.
And the prime spirit too. It depends on what, like you got the earth, fire, wind, water spirit, and they all have different abilities. Like the wind spirit
changed when the Fire Nation invaded.
The wind spirit has an AoE tether around it. Like it does a whirlwind around it, and you're tethered to that area. And then you got ones that do a knock up. You got the fire one sets people on fire and adds a dot. And they've got all kinds of crazy. I will say though that blue buff monster is red. So fucking 1 star. This game is unplayable. I'm moving on from Overprime. They need to make that shit blue.
Sounds about right.
I think before we move on to the Xena and all the kits.
We're sticking in these patch notes for a while.
Okay.
Don't worry.
I'm more impressed, I think, now that I've gotten a chance to look more in depth on my own with the items that are available. I am so stoked with the variants that the items are going to be bringing into these games, because in the last test, that was one of like our largest feedbacks, was that the items were so basic, so linear. They had almost no variety. You felt like you were like you had to just go with these items because those were the only items that you're realistically going to be able to do damage with or survive with. And so now that there's so much variety, like especially as somebody who played mostly carry, I was looking at it and I was saying this to the guys before we started. I think that there's items that are just going to hard counter what Kwong wants to do, and a lot of these big beefy boys, which we were kind of concerned about. We're like, man, all these guys are tanky as fuck. They're sitting there being able to do lots of damage while not taking a lot of damage. Like, what is going to kill this bruiser meta? And I was like, items are what is going to kill this bruiser meta. Like, and it looks like there's so many cool items that are going to be able to help facilitate that.
Yeah, the amount of items that have anti-heal are kind of wild. Like, I expected it to be like a couple items, maybe 1 or 2 or 3, but it seems like a quarter of them have anti-heal of some kind.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's I'm like, was healing an issue?
Yeah.
In the last test, it was a problem. Yeah, so
Gotcha.
it's wild.
Well, and then with with Chimera's new-ish kit, right, with all the healing and sustain that he's getting from the update that they gave him, that was another one that we were super concerned about. Like, man, that guy is just going to drain tank through everybody.
Also, smart casting exists now, and I'm so excited. It's ridiculous.
Yes,
I'm not sure if it's going to be like you can set it per hero or if it's just set. I can't imagine that it would not be per hero. Somebody was asking that in the comments of one of the videos, and I really don't know, because when you see them doing smart cast things, it's in a different language that I don't know. So I couldn't really tell.
Fair.
But let's talk about the new heroes they added. That's the other section they have, and most of the new heroes they added are pretty much the same as they were in Paragon. There's not a lot of differences. So we got Gadget, Seraph, Decker, Wraith, Howitzer, Chimera, the Fae, Aurora, and that's it. So that's a lot of new characters since the last beta, and Xena. So I think, and Xena. So, jeez, crazy. Yeah,
dude. So
excited! I'm smacking my mic. So that's 9 new heroes since the last beta.
Yep.
I'm so excited because the meta finally is going to feel fresh. I mean, I think it's just been that first test was like you had the same 5 characters every game. It was very little change, right? Like, and I'm so tired of that. Like, it was. Not to beat a dead horse, but it was almost the same issue with Fault, right? Was like you had basically the same 5 guys showing up in almost in every single match until Iggy was added. And then it was like Iggy was the one swap in and out for whether it was an offlaner or mid. But like, I don't know. I think that the meta for this is going to be wild. Like, I don't think that it's going to be easy to predict what is going to be the OP like 5 that you're going to see in every single game. Whereas last CBT, it became especially once people figured out the strat that you could end the game in like 10 minutes. You had like everything was early game. How much healing, how much damage can we get out as quickly as possible? That's all going to be out the window. It looks like it's going to be way more focused on like, you know, team fighting, maybe split pushing. We don't know yet because we haven't really seen a whole lot of what it's like to lane. So that's what I'm really, really excited about, is seeing how the game now functions as a true MOBA rather than the criticism that has been getting that it's just a brawler and you just throw people into fights at all times. So it could still be that, but I'm curious to see if it's changed now with all these additions.
Swiftix, I feel like I'm gonna have to do a stream while Overprime's out of where I only play Seraph for an entire stream.
Everybody expects you to play Seraph.
I hate Seraph. I hate Seraph so much.
I don't know why everybody expects you to play Seraph so much.
Because I hate her so much. Because it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be like Kwong and Fault, where I hated Kwong in Paragon, but in Fault I played so much Kwong it's ridiculous. And so like it's gonna be one of those things of I hate Seraph, and suddenly I'm gonna be a Seraph main until Xena comes out, because I will be a Xena main. There's no question about that.
So with the new heroes, there have been a few changes with them. Their appearances. Gadget looks a little less like my boy Breddick and looks a little more feminine now. Decker got a little baby fat in her cheeks. And Howitzer looks like a fucking Disney princess. I do not like this Howitzer change at all. Like, he's supposed to be a scraggly looking fucking alley cat looking that guy with a cigar. Yeah, I know. He cleans up well. I'll give him that. Put a bow tie on that motherfucker. Jesus, I don't like that at all. They added a bunch of base profile icons, new item menu to the lobby so that you can actually check the items out before you get into a game. Huge quality of life improvement there. And the smart cast system, the smart key system, so you can bind your buttons a little easier and then smart cast them. They said a lot more jungle monsters added. We've seen from a lot of this footage that every jungle camp is different and everyone has different abilities. And we've got these warthogs now as the side lane buffs instead of the old chonky boy from Paragon. Cool. Yeah, they look like from Ruby. Look like those warthogs from Ruby.
Oh yeah.
A bunch of tutorials added, so it's not just one tutorial. They've got a couple of tutorials. It looks like they've got step 1 through 6, but step 6 is under development. So looks like not just one tutorial, but several tutorials that you could choose from. In-hero stat UI added and improved. Match server region selection system added. New items and item effects, AI bots, blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah, this AI bot replacement system. When players are unable to control their heroes in-game, I found out what that is all that bot will do is get your ass out of danger to a tower and then teleport back to base.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like a full
AI thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I did not know what to think about that until it was explained to me.
Yeah.
I like that a lot better than having a bot feeding people throughout the rest of the match. I'd rather go 4v5 than... The matchmaking system is improved. You're going to have 2 different matchmaking. You have competitive mode and ranked mode. You can queue up however many people you want to in a quick match. Did I say competitive and ranked mode? You have quick battle and competitive mode. Quick match, you can queue up however many people you want to. Ranked mode, you can only do solos and duos. So only 2 people at a time can party up and queue for ranked, which I think is going to be huge for them. That's definitely going to benefit them if they have enough people playing the game to have ranked and quick match. Let's see the jungle monsters.
I want to touch on that for a second, real quick.
Okay.
I'm really curious to see what their player base looks like for this test, because their last test, the hits, I think it was 15,000 was their peak. I'm checking right now, but
it was around there.
Yeah, something around those numbers. And so I'm very curious to see if they hit that same pool in this test, or if it's going to go even bigger than that. Now that they're on Epic Games, for one thing, and then just all the promotional stuff that they've been doing leading up to this test as well.
And then during the streams today, when all these Korean streamers were doing it, when I first looked at the streams, there were 15,000 people watching.
Yeah.
The Twitch streams.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's
all-time peak was 15,501.
God dang. So let's
I mean,
hope.
and they've been pushing the game a lot in Korea, from what I understand, like a lot.
Yeah.
So I would imagine, at least for the Asian servers, that they're probably going to have plenty. It'll be interesting to see here in the West what it'll equal out to.
Very true.
And I know for me, like being on the West Coast, I'm also a little bit concerned, like, the competitive integrity with the server only being on the East Coast currently. I mean, I know it's for the test and everything like that, and maybe they'll have plans for adding a West Coast server, but when you start getting into competitive modes, ping matters a lot. So I'm very, very curious what the ping situation will be like for those of us who are on West Coast having to connect to an East Coast server. Won't stop me from playing ranked. I'm just curious about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
I also, it's been brought up in chat. People are talking about Howie, and I don't think it looks as bad, by the way, chat. I think Howie looks fine. I understand some of these old head Paragon guys want nothing to be changed, and they can only be the same as they always were. But you know what? Fuck them. They're old. They barely are gonna get to play the game because their hands are gonna get arthritis. You know what I mean? And their back is gonna start hurting because they're sitting in a lounge chair or their kitchen chair.
If my dick worked, I'd stick it in your mouth right now. You know what?
So fuck the boomers, okay? They were complaining last week about there being too many cute girls in the game, like they don't like cute girls or something.
Yeah, we don't want cute howitzers either. Like howitzers supposed to be
they don't even like console players. I heard, dude, FTM hates console players. So you know what, dude, fuck those
He's
guys.
supposed to look like a grizzled old guy that gets into the fucking rockets. Oh no, I don't like it. Take it back. I don't like it. All right. Fuck, I lost my place on the damn thing. Oh shit. All right, so active skill visual effects improved whenever somebody uses a skill, even if they're on the enemy team. You see what item they used up above their head. Very nice. Gold UI improved. You just get more of a gold explosion out of the minions whenever you kill them. This one's really cool. The Tion spawn animation changed, so when your minions spawn, they phase in just like you do. They drop in like a fucking drop ship. Aggro indicator improved, so you know when the lane minions have aggroed you and when they've lost the aggro on you. Sprint mode transition animations improved, so we've seen a lot of that in these videos. The one we hadn't seen was Narbash, but they show us in the patch notes, and it's my favorite one out of all the sprint mode transitions. Leaps up into the air, bangs the shit out of his drums, and then takes off hauling ass. I love it. Skills streak image improved. We've already seen that before. NPC health bar UI improved. Just get ticks now for every 1,000 health or 500 health, depending. Training grounds overall rework and adjustment. Looks like it's just a grayscale map that you could just go in and stick around with the heroes and try out builds and stuff to see what they do. Very nice.
What about that is that it looks like you can really quickly swap between heroes.
Yeah.
That you can, because they have that menu on the side of all the different heroes, that if I wanted to quickly swap, I don't need to leave that to go and then come back into it with a different hero. I can just very quickly flip back and forth to test a bunch of different things at once and then leave at one point.
I thought the same thing when I saw that. It's great, a great improvement. I do wish also, because this was something else I saw in chat, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves, is that you aren't revealed when shooting out of the bushes still. I think that's such a missed opportunity. I think it's garbage for this game. That's yeah, I hate it. So I'm hoping that through feedback again, guys, if you want to see things change, this is another CBT. You have to do the work of putting in your feedback, so that way the team, they do listen to it. So hopefully that'll be something, because I think that's a huge quality of life change that needs to happen to make it, because it just doesn't make sense at all to me.
We saw what an advantage that Murdoch had over Revenant in the Revenant video, because Murdoch got to the bushes first and then was able to just pepper Revenant, and Revenant couldn't do shit about it. The Revenant just got lucky that his rampage got to lane before Murdoch's rampage got to lane. That's the only thing that saved his ass right there.
Yep.
So fucking sane. All right, jungle monster buff icon improved. So not only the jungle monsters all different, the icon above their heads is different. So when they're spawning, you can tell what kind of minion is going to spawn there.
Oh, the emotes too. The thumbs up and shit. Big fan. Big fan. I hope
they had that before.
Cool, yeah. Did they in the first one? I didn't notice it. Oh, maybe I'm dumb. That's fair.
They added more though. They did add more, but that was there. The thumbs up and thumbs down was there before.
Oh, okay. I hope they add more, like fun ones, like stuff that you can just emote above your head for shits and giggles.
Like cover me, I'm fucked.
Yeah, something.
The penalty system has been improved, and you got different penalties for competitive and quick match. So that's
fan that they included that, because that was something we also praised them for in the last CBT, was how active they were on getting rid of toxic players, cheaters, all kinds of stuff. I hope we get to still see something like that, where we get some kind of feedback system. I kind of hope that it's in client so much as where it was before in Discord. You had to be part of the Discord and go to that channel where they were banning people. So I hope, like, if I report somebody, I get some kind of feedback if something happened, rather than just having to remember some random dude's name and see him in the Discord that he was no longer allowed to play. You know what I mean? But it's still really cool to see. I'm a big fan of that.
Next up, position guide design improved. That's just letting you know which lane you're supposed to go to at the start of the map. Skill description window UI UX improved. I don't notice a huge improvement there, but I guess it's improved. Lane minions are now the old Paragon minions. They just kind of dicked with their armor a little bit to make them look a little bit different than they did in Paragon.
Yep. You hate that too, because it's not the same as it was in Paragon?
No, I like it. You know what else I like is Gadget's new skin, so fuck you.
Well, there's not a lot to hate about that.
Party UI UX improved. So just whenever you're partying up with people, kind of a cool, nice little screen. Draft page improved. I like that all they say it's improved. There was no draft page before. So any draft page would be an improvement.
A translation issue.
Yeah, probably.
So what is different is they did not have a role selection before character selection.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that looks like what they're showing on this is that they're having a role selection first, basically kind of like Fault did, right? And then you have your hero selection then thereafter.
The player report system is improved. We were just talking about that. So now you can report players even more efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
Battle results page adjusted and improved. And when I saw this, I had completely forgotten how fucking awesome the battle results page was in Overprime, because you could go through and look at all those different stats, like your KDA compared to everybody else, your damage, your gold gain. You could do like whatever you wanted. You could get a graphical representation of how you stacked up to the rest of the team and how much more damage I did than Jelly in pretty much every match that we played.
They're calling me a troll in chat. Look at
what?
You know what though? I actually forgot about that until you just now mentioned it. That was one of the coolest things. Was that summary, dude? I'm totally forgot about it. And Des, I agree, dude. Every week that we talk about these games and then also get more videos to watch, I'm like, God, just get me in game already, bro. Please. How many days? 3 days? I don't know. It's like right around the corner. It's so I'm hungry. I want to play.
I'm sorry, guys. I haven't really been paying close attention to the actual stream chat. I've been mainly
I
had my
got you.
nose in these patch notes, but yeah, I appreciate it. Viking
They're mostly
Jedi.
talking about me being funny and having the right takes on things. And PC Master Race is correct. My beard is the best beard. That's mostly what they're talking about. And then they throw in some Mangoose.
You do have the best beard. I'll look
I
at
do.
that.
It's so good, dude. Look at that. It's just so good.
Profile page added and improved. Don't really care. Settings features expanded and improved. So we're getting more settings. Shop and hero page improved. Blah blah blah. Playing. I'm just looking for the good stuff here. I've already talked about that. Additional info notice. Features available during final beta test. This is final beta test only. All base heroes available for play. Final test only. So that tells us that all the base heroes are not going to be available for play in early access and in the real game. So you're going to have to unlock heroes either through spending money or spending in-game currency of some sort.
Yep.
I venture to say that it'll probably be both, and I hate it already. I know that that's going to be something I'm annoyed about, that they don't just have all the characters available and then let people just play what they want to play.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of it. I understand why. I get it from a development standpoint, but I don't know. It feels so bad for the player to, like, especially if you've been hyped up or you've seen like your favorite streamer playing it or something like that. You want to jump in and start playing as that character or something like that, and having there be a paywall, especially if you're a new player or you have to grind for wall. Again, I totally get it from a developer standpoint of that you want people to feel like there's a carrot on a stick and either they're spending money or they're just spending time in your game. But it feels bad. And I don't know which is the right answer. As the player, I just hate it.
Then we also have Renar reward for playing. I'm guessing Renar is the in-game currency, not the premium currency, the in-game currency. The early access version will not give rewards for victory or defeat. So you cannot earn Renar for victory or defeat in the early access, but you can during final beta test. Jelly.
So Renar, looking at the next one that's on the list, is the premium currency. It is not the base currency.
Oh, really? I thought Kima was
Daily mission of 10,000 Renar, a feature available only for the final test for ease of acquiring and trying out skins.
Yes, it's only skins.
So that's the currency you're using to buy skins. They're letting you earn that to test out that system before the final version goes out, and you'll have to pay for it.
Okay, but then they have skins that can only be purchased with Kima will be made purchasable with Renar. During early access, some skins can only be purchased with Kima. So I think Kima
maybe
is your premium currency. Renar is your.
They're going to have some skins that are available through Renar, and so maybe that's like the free currency you earn, and you can buy some skins with that. That would be wild.
So, I'm thinking like Fault did when it first launched, is the epic asset skins were available with in-game currency,
right?
Or you could buy the new IP skins with the actual premium currency,
right?
But there's no mention of loot boxes with those,
right? Maybe they got rid of loot boxes.
Having that saying that skins are only purchasable with Kima makes it sound like there will be skins in the game that are purchasable with just regular in-game currency, not out of a loot box. Bye, Arma.
Bye, Arma.
I was hoping we'd at least get a chance to give him a goodbye, but he had to take off, guys.
He typed in, I gotta go.
So he's gone. Yeah, it was great having him, though. I'm so stoked for him on the UG team, and can't wait to see what comes from it. Anyway, yeah, the currency thing, I mean, obviously we only have a few days until we get to find out for sure. But if they got rid of loot boxes, I'll have a lot less complaints, right? Because that was my biggest complaint overall.
And then the conversation we'll have to have with Bearded after the fact will be hilarious.
Love talking to that guy.
I miss talking. I'm having Bearded withdrawals since we don't do the Fault partner panel anymore.
Oh
man. We were goofing on Huddy the other day, and I couldn't. Because Huddy sent me a picture of a fucking actual brick and mortar game store that he was at, and I'm like, "The fuck is that next to the Blockbuster and the goddamn something or other else?" and then like Beard goes, "What? How'd you take that on a rotary phone?" And then I said, "Did you print out the directions to get there on MapQuest?" And I miss just fucking riffing on people like that with Bearded. Anyway.
You lost half your audience. Nobody knows what MapQuest is.
Community level calibration. Players will be able to level up quickly and play competitive during early access. There will be requirements to play competitive in order to prevent cheating, trolling, smurfing, as to promote a healthy environment. You're going to have to play quick match for a while before you can play competitive.
Yep.
At least will be a deterrent, right? Like that's. I mean, even League does that, right? You have to hit level 30 before you can play ranked, and the only thing that ends up happening is people buy botted accounts instead. Right?
Oh, really?
So yeah. I mean, I don't think it'll be as much of an issue in this game, just because the player base won't really support that kind of monetization outside of the game. But it could be an eventual issue at some point. What it really does is it affects like the more casual game modes, because that's where the bots go. All right, so any casual queue will be infected by bots, whether good or bad. Bots might not be good bots. They could just run it down mid and die over and over and over again, or they might be using cheats to win games fast and stuff like that. So that's the only concern I have, I guess. But you need some kind of deterrent, and there's for that outside of I don't know. It's just. That's the end game that would be a little bit frustrating, is the bots becoming rampant so people can skip that initial level up.
Yep.
But it still needs to be there. I don't have another solution for it off the top of my head. But I'm excited that they're adding it. So I'm just adding my 2 cents. I don't know.
Then I think that's about everything. Then the last notes we have: features available during early access. This is not the full beta test, the final beta test. 10 heroes from the hero rotation. All base heroes are available for play during the final test. No rotation. So there's going to be 10 heroes on a rotation in early access. So you're going to have to unlock those other heroes in some way, shape, or form, unless your name is the main. But I get all of them, Jedi, because I'm special.
Fair.
And then competitive achievement legendary skin. Only a select few players that reach a certain rank will receive this skin during early access. So that's kind of a cool reward.
Yeah. I mean, I won't get it, unfortunately, because I probably won't be able to climb that high, but it won't stop me from trying. Like, but I do think it's cool. I love that kind of stuff in games. I like things where there's mastery skins, or like, community engagement skins. Like, that's something I really like with League. They finally are adding in, if you're level 5 or level 4 or above with community feedback, you're going to get a skin at the end of the season for Malzahar. So cool. I think again, anything that engages the community and you can show some kind of uniqueness, whether that's through emotes or skins or something like that, to feel special, I guess, is pretty cool. Aren't they doing something else too with like a title or something like that for new players too, or for people? I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Anyway,
I haven't heard anything about that, but maybe they will. I don't know.
I'll look for it. I'm
gonna go ahead and link in chat a link to their item page. So if you haven't seen their items, there's the link to all of their items. So they added a whole crap ton of items. When I was doing this builder stream, it's very hard to make a build because you've got to like weigh in, like, that you're gonna, like, there's so much cool shit. You want to put all the cool shit in your build, but you can't fit all the cool shit in your build. So I'm really happy with the items. The one complaint I have, like I always have for all of these third-person MOBAs, even Paragon, is I think there need to be items that take advantage of this third-person space, and these are all just pretty much isometric top-down items that are put into a third-person MOBA. So that's my one complaint. Predecessor is about the only one that does it with the Galaxy Greaves.
I have one thing. It's not necessarily. This is for Jackpot, actually. Now that I'm looking at it, if you're still in chat, Jackpot, if you could add the money counter for how much it's going to cost for these builds, because he does. It's so cool. He does, like, how much health you're getting, physical power, crit rate, all that stuff. If you could add in, like, this build would cost you X gold, I would love that for this build thing that he has. It just hit me right now as I was playing around with it. But anyway, that's sorry.
Swiftdick has a quick question. Can I ask you guys, when do you think EA is going to be after the test ends? I think they're going to announce EA, assuming that the final beta test goes like well enough. Like, if there's as long as there's no crazy problems with it, I think they'll probably announce it at the G-String event. So
the what event?
G-String in Korea, in Busan.
Yeah,
where all the zombies are. No, it's G-string.
Yeah. G-Star.
Look it up
I think
on the internet.
December. Yeah, December probably makes the most sense.
Look up
Sometime
Korean
in December.
G-string. You'll find it.
Yeah, that's what you should type in your Google bar at work right now.
No, I think that G-Star, they'll probably announce it then. Ray Leo says he thinks that EA is going to be the 8th of December.
That's a very specific date.
I know, right? How'd you come up with that, Ray? Sure. Okay, so yeah, the items are fucking cool. Take a look at them if you wanna.
I could definitely see them going from this final test into an early access release almost immediately. Right? I've seen other games do this where they have final tests and stuff, and literally they pull down the servers of the final test and then make an announcement of like, "Congrats, guys! Tomorrow we're going live with the full thing."
Yeah.
Right. Like, because the test goes well enough. And if assuming there's no like giant glaring issues that they need to fix between then, right, G-Star and this test end on the same day. So you easily could have them announcing that is the release date is at the same time.
I agree. Speaking of the G-Star event, there was going to be a LAN tournament at the G-Star event. That's why all these Korean streamers had access to the game. I think it was an odd choice to allow them to stream their experiences today. I think it's good for marketing. I wouldn't expect that. I would expect them to give them access to this game and then let them practice up for the tournament. I'm kind of surprised they let them stream it, which is, I mean, I have no problem with it, but
I think it's smart, to be honest, especially now that Worlds is over for League of Legends. A lot of people are going to, like, and I talked about this before, I think a lot of especially the Asian market, are going to be looking to, they're either going to grind out League and try and get their ranks, or maybe something like this. One of their favorite streamers that they're not used to seeing is playing a new MOBA and is talking about a competitive scene for it and showcasing, the stuff that we all love about Overprime, and it could bring a lot of players. I hope that they do something, and this is something we've talked about before. I hope they do something similar, maybe as part of EA, for the Western audience, and so that way we can try and get more players here invested in it and excited about it, because it does seem like a vast majority of the marketing is aimed at their Asian market, which again I understand makes sense. That's their home roots, but it would be nice to see some love for us over here, in the Western market.
There was some streamer, he had a shirt with that same icon that's on your hat.
Cloud9, yeah.
I know. He had like 4,000 motherfuckers watching him.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were all motherfuckers, but he had 4,000 people watching him. I'm sure one or two was a motherfucker.
At least.
At least.
I mean, you were watching him.
Yeah. I fucked many mothers.
What?
Just go with it, Jelly.
Yeah, Jelly.
Just
I
go with it.
A lot of the time. That one was way out there.
All right.
Can we talk about Xena now?
Let's talk about Xena now. I was looking for the imagery for her. Go ahead and start talking about her while I look for the Xena.
She looks incredible, dude. She is basically just Kalari 2.0 in my mind.
A better Kalari.
I was gonna say, can you give us a rundown for those of us who didn't get a chance to look at the video?
I'm working on it. If you would
Google Drive doesn't want to work on my phone. It only works on PCs, apparently.
Okay, well, he doesn't want us to talk about Xena because he won't shut up, guys. So, okay. So her right.
I mean, if you just let Jelly talk, he'll explain.
Shit.
I fucking love you, Megan. Let's go, dude.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, fuck Jelly.
So her right click is a charged dash that looks like the longer you hold it, the farther the dash goes. Does a little bit of damage, I'm sure, but it's mainly just a traversal tool. But it resets on kill. So if you get a kill or assist, theoretically, you're going to be able to reset this ability and be able to do a long range dash again, which is super, super nice. Her Q looks like it's just kind of a general AoE slash in front of her that does damage, which is pretty good. I mean, right? It's just damaging ability is what it is. Her E is a knockup of some kind. We saw her in the video knock up Chimera, and she knocked up Huang and Grux, I think, in the video that was leaked. Which fantastic, big fan. And then her ultimate is the one we saw in that YouTube short 9 months ago, 10 months ago. where she kind of like does this giant slash around a single enemy. It looks like she's untargetable during that, which is super cool. And somebody mentioned it earlier, and I said the same thing to Mangoose when I saw the video. It reminds me of old Fiora ult. The vid audio. Jesus, Mangoose. This guy.
This fucking. Yeah, I just recorded this straight from the stream where the guy was streaming her.
Streamer, guys, give him a minute. Jeez.
I turned it off. It's off now. Go ahead, Jelly.
I was speaking perfect Korean. Thank you.
Little known skill.
Oh my god.
Ultimate is basically like old Fiora Ultimate if you guys have played League for a while. That she dashes around an enemy and deals damage, and it looks so much fun. She looks like so much fun in general. Now, if I could get that ultimate on Kalari, I'd be sold.
Oh man, Monochromatic showed up. The cops! I gotta pull down this footage quick.
Oh no!
But is that still playing? Yeah, still playing. I didn't edit this at all. I just recorded this today while we were so what happened was I explained it earlier. Somebody was trying to lock in. They didn't lock in quick enough, and they just happened to get Xena. Like she wasn't selectable in the hero roster or anything. They just kind of lucked into Xena. So there's a lot of stuff.
If she's not available at the start of the test, if she is going to get released like halfway through or something, I'm not going to log in every single time just on the chance that I get Xena.
The small percentage chance. I do agree. I think that they're going to do that, right? I think that's what they did it for Narbash. I feel like, Jelly, you nailed it, that's what they're going to do. They're going to release her halfway through so that way they can
It's not in the patch notes, which maybe that was intentional and that'll get updated.
Right.
But she's not in the patch notes, right? So like to me that feels like even more so she's going to get released halfway through. Yeah. Which means get ready for me to not lock in a hero and get randomly selected one every single game.
Oh, great. I can't wait to be queued up with you. That'll be so fun. In jungle too, right? So you're going to get like Faye for jungle.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh wait, no you won't, because Mangoose is going to be playing the Faye every game because that's his girl.
DapperDice said he wants to play the Faye.
Yeah,
all day.
Talk about DapperDice.
First day. I told him I'll play a few games with you, but just a few because I want to play the Faye too. So right now on OBS at least, it's showing the actual draft screen. So we'll get into the Xena play here in a little bit. I guess this person wanted to play support. They were trying to like pick support, so they ended up supporting with Xena, but then they were just like, okay, well this character kills fucking everybody, so let's just pop off instead of supporting anymore. One thing I will say, she looks probably, her animations and everything look probably better than any of the Paragon heroes that they put in. They've definitely done some distance matching, speed warping shit with her. Like whenever she goes downhill, she kind of leans back as if she's actually running down a hill. Whenever she goes uphill, she leans forward, digs in a little bit, throws the bows a bit more whenever she's coming uphill. But yeah, looks like she's got a really interesting kit. Oh yeah, the map is named Agnes of Light now for some reason. What is with this 1930s fucking baby name book that they pick all their fucking names for everything for?
I don't like that name.
Beatrice and Agnes and Scott and Daryl. That was Gideon.
Daryl, serious.
That was Gideon's name at first. Was Daryl?
Yeah, was Daryl, and then they changed it to Cosmos.
Yeah.
For people who haven't seen this yet, by the way, like this is so cool, I think, for like showcasing what it's like to get loaded into a game. Because normally what we get from them is just stuff where they're already in and starting to buy items, running the lane or something like that. So getting to see this full like experience, I think for new players or new people who are coming in, this is what it's like now. This is what the game's going to look like when you guys start playing it in a few days. So I think it looks great. It looks cool. And she looks fucking cool as hell, dude. Yeah. She looks so sick.
A lot of people were asking what the glow is around her. She's got shielding. Whenever you got shielding on you in this game, you have like a bit of a white glow around you. So it seems like she always starts out with shielding. Maybe that's just an item she has. But her hair is awesome. Like she can whip that hair back. I want to see her head banging. Like her hair whips around fucking everywhere.
It's a little crazy. It's like the physics on it. I think need to be weighted down a little bit because it's like whipping right into her face as she's turning. Like, oh my god, that dash is so far! Holy shit!
But it looks like it's charged up. So you hold it down. The longer you hold it down, the further it goes.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Can we just watch this for a minute and live react to it? This is neat. Because I didn't get to watch it. I was
watching the
animation she makes is so cool. That's got like that little what do you call it? Like the echo effect of it or something like that. Like you see when she swings it.
Oh yeah. The streaks.
Yeah.
After image.
The trail after image. There you go. Yeah, those are better words than the one I use. Thank you.
But
listen, when you're this pretty, you don't have to be smart.
I actually was watching this game, didn't realize that I was watching the Cloud9 guy play. He was on Sparrow, and I thought that there was an enemy Aurora as the support because she keeps dashing out of these bushes. But I was like, "Where's Aurora's ice wall?" I was like, "What's going on here?" And then finally, it clicked. I was like, "What the fuck? That's not Aurora. That's Xena." Like, what the shit? Yeah, we did not expect to see any gameplay of her yet. And I don't think Soul Eve meant to show off gameplay of her yet, but we got it, so we gonna talk about it.
I'm telling you guys, I'm just gonna not lock in every game if she's not there.
That is so far. That's the full like length of the lane right there. That's
and
nuts.
it resets. So
that's
good.
Wild.
And not only that, if you jump and use it, like you could traverse through it, like you go in a straight line. If you're in the no. But if you're in the air, like if you're coming to the edge, you're charging it up, and you jump and use it, you could jump over to like the fog wall from mid lane.
Also, Easy's I think hitting it. The zoom out on the camera when you do it too looks so neat. Like it really gives you that impression that you're like whipping through.
A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like that because you get that same effect with Chimera whenever he ambushes. I love it. Right. I think it's awesome.
I think it's great.
But a lot of people do not like it.
Oh, she can.
Solthus, what's up? I sent you a message on the Discord to let you know this game's coming out pretty soon, so we can play again.
Back. We're back. Oh, dude, she is fucking him up.
I like.
It's on any kill, Swiftix.
I like your sound effects for her, Jedi. Can we?
I need to be added into the game. not only do I need to be added as a partner, but they need to get me for sound effects. Dude, that dash is so long.
Yeah.
That's so toxic. Dude.
All right. Now we got ads.
Yeah, you skip the ad. You gotta skip the ads.
I can't skip the ad. I recorded this. This is a recording.
Yeah, can't you skip in the recording and just boop, boop, boop?
No, I couldn't skip anything.
Oh, well, whatever. Just giving away AT&T ads.
Yeah, pretty much. My bad, dog.
Holy crap, though. Dude, that dash is wild. Like, I mean, it's just so big. Is that the longest dash in the game?
I think now it is. Now that they've shortened everybody else's dash. I think to get further, you'd have to double dash with Shinbi.
Yeah.
And it seems like Glacial Charge, I think, is that long. Isn't Aurora's dash that long?
Oh, maybe her ice wall? Maybe.
I think so. Yeah, this was off of Twitch.
Oh.
Meg is going to be on partner tomorrow for broadcasting this. Then nobody specifically told me that I couldn't.
And even now they're sending you a message you can't.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Yeah, let me check my Discord real quick. Oh, I'm on Discord.
Yeah, you better be.
I just got a message from Solthus. That's it. Okay, all right, cool. I don't have any messages from UG. I mean, not UG, Soul Eve. But all right, yeah, so that's Xena. She's going to have an awesome kit. We were talking about her ultimate. I don't know if it's going to affect a single person or like Jelly was. You sent me that League person that has a similar ultimate, but she hits multiple people.
Her knockup is so cool looking. She has like a backflip and kicks them up in the air. Dude, it looks like a from like a fighting game.
Yeah, no, her ultimate seems like it's going to be probably one of the strongest in the game, purely because she's untargetable during it, or at least it seems like she is. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, she's going to be wild.
So is she? Oh, go ahead.
At one point in time, she targets a Revenant underneath the tower. She takes the tower shots after she kills him, but not while she's killing him. So that's.
So you think that she might be untargetable while doing it?
While doing her ultimate, yeah.
Yes.
Definitely for the last part.
Anything we say, Mangoose.
Because she completely well, he's engrossed in the footage. But she completely disappears from the screen for a while before that last slash. So
Yep.
it's going to be nuts. It's going to be sweet.
Christos, if they add a Zonia's, like a full, dude, I already hate that they have stasis, but I hate stasis.
I mean, that is Zonia's.
I love stasis. What are you talking about?
And Zonia's is the same
Stasis
thing.
is fucking garbage. I hate fucking stasis. It
I love
ruins gameplay.
You kind of
No,
need stasis.
You don't need stasis. You just need to not be out of position in the point where you need stasis.
How do you counter somebody like this or somebody like Countess that has a lock on slip into you with a fuckload of damage? You got to have stasis.
Nah, I disagree.
Okay.
You just have, I guess you just have to die if you can't outplay her.
We're going to fight then. We'll fight.
All right. I hate stasis items. I think it rewards over aggressive play and punishes players who are catching somebody out. It just, to me, I just hate it.
Okay.
I'm not a fan.
That's fine. We agree to disagree. Well, let's start closing things out for tonight. Yes, agree to disagree. We're going to start closing things out for tonight. Again, a whole lot of Overprime news. Sorry we didn't have anything for Predecessor, but we had some really good Ethereal news. A very good Ethereal discussion tonight, which I'm thankful for.
It's their fault we don't have anything to talk about. It's not your fault.
Yeah, but people want Predecessor news, man, and I want to give them Predecessor news. What's that?
The comments will disagree. It's Mangoose's fault.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? Oh, Loax. Okay. Yeah, I'm already going to fight Loax in real life, so apparently it's I'm going to be fighting a lot of people. All right, but anyway, we're going to close it out for tonight. Thank you everybody for coming out. Jelly, got anything to plug this week?
Just follow me on YouTube and Twitch because I'll be streaming Overprime when it comes out. So that's it for me.
And look for Jelly and I on the GTG tournament. We'll be casting it. VikingJedi, anything to plug?
Same thing. You can follow me on Twitter, at least for the time being, until Elon Musk explodes it. But after, so otherwise, but no, and follow me on YouTube. I will also be streaming OP when it comes out, and I'll probably wait. I mean, if they end up filling up, then it is what it is. But I do want to put together a team for the tournament, but I kind of want to get my feel for it before I feel comfortable trying to go into a competitive space. I know some people are just going to sign up and fucking YOLO it, but I'm not that guy, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's it. Other than that, no, I don't think we're talking about King's Hunt, Angel. I don't think you want us to talk about King's Hunt, actually.
Custodes, Dan, whenever we have console news, I will be coming in hot with it. I'm looking forward to it as well for all the console homies out there. As far as King's Hunt goes, yes, I covered it a long time ago. I lost interest in the game fairly early on, and I still am not interested in covering King's Hunt, so I'm not going to be covering King's Hunt on this channel. I will keep an eye on it, but for now, I'm not going to be covering it. But if you want to check out these guys' Twitch and YouTube, they'll be linked in the comment in the video description below. I'll throw it in the comments as well, because nobody looks at the fucking video description. They do read comments, though. But for now, this is the For the Minions crew signing off. You guys have a good one.
Do you press a button?
It's not letting me. It's saying